All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody, for our latest Exploring Telepathy call, Zoom call here on Saturday, February 28th, last day of February. Yeehaw. Can't wait for March. Means it's getting warm here for us in the US. I am Kevin Young. Most of you guys know me by now. I'm an intuitive coach and one of the admins for the Autism Telepathy Conversations community that is growing like a weed. I was looking at the stats just 2 days ago, I think it was. And in a week, we've grown from 16,000 to 17,003 or something like that. So we get these little bursts where some information gets out or a comment goes viral or whatever. But I love that there's so many of us who are interested in exploring the telepathic concepts and the underpinnings of who we really are, the consciousness part of the human experience, which isn't constrained by time or space. So I really appreciate that all you guys are here on the call where we get to talk about how telepathy expands and is expressed in our lives, some of the underpinnings of how to connect in, the relaxing presence in the now moment, and the interaction that we get to have. So there's nothing really serious goes on here. Purpose is primarily to focus on the concepts behind telepathy and our individual experiences. So we're all here to learn from each other, and I'm here to learn from all you guys. So feel free to share anything that might feel pertinent to telepathy and or what you do to connect in. And you can use the chat window. You can raise your little digital hand on Zoom and share what comes up for you. We're here to support each other and to keep it purely positive and focused in the direction that we want to go in. And let's see, did I cover everything? Yeah, and then we're going to start with an intro meditation here in a second. Verena, is this a question for the group? Because we're going to get started with the meditation first. Is that okay? Okay. Yeah. I love your eagerness. So hold on to that thought. So we're going to start off with a sort of a centering, calming, aligning vibrational meditation that Melissa usually leads us in, and then if you get sometimes people get messages in the meditation. We'll do a second meditation for the telepathic practice later on in the call. But if you receive something, communication message, sometimes it's just a feeling or an energy or even an image. Feel free to share it with the group after we're done if you want. Feel free to write it down and as your confirmation that you're connecting in. I think one of the best things that a group like this does, and we can do for ourselves, is to notice when things are working. Notice when we have a synchronicity or we get a message. I had one in the shower today, actually, which I'll share after the meditation is done, which kind of surprised me because it had nothing to do with me. It was about somebody on Facebook I had communicated with just haphazardly, sort of a few hours earlier. And I got an answer that she was, I think, looking for. That doesn't happen to me typically, but part of this practice, I'm opening up and relaxing into my channel and I'm starting to pick up more messages. So that's what we're all here to do. So, Melissa, I will turn it over to you. Give us a meditation.
Hello, everybody. Good morning or afternoon. I'm not sure where everyone is at. It's sunny here, so that's a bonus in our life in Michigan, which I'll take gladly. All right, everybody. Oh, sorry, my Alexa started talking to me. She must have thought I wanted to hear her today. All right, everybody, let's just settle in for a moment here. All the birds are outside ready to join us too. Just flying right by, just as I said that. So take a nice slow breath in and gently let it just go. Just feel yourself here and now. Allowing your shoulders to drop and your jaw and your body just to soften here. Just to let yourself know it's safe in this beautiful space with everyone here. Just feel the love amongst us all here right now. The life just moving around in this room. We aren't separate from any of it. We are a part of all of it. Now bring your awareness to your heart space. Just imagine this beautiful, soft white light there. Just beautiful, inviting, and just warm. And as you continue just to breathe in, that light expands outward. And as you breathe out, it softens deeper within you. This space, this is your telepathic center. It's not your mind. It's your heart. Telepathy isn't trying. It's just remembering. Remembering that we are all energy, that we are all connected. Remembering that love is a beautiful frequency. Now imagine roots gently extending from your feet deep into the soil. Connecting you to Mother Earth. Feel her steady presence, her calm strength, her wisdom. You are loved and supported here. Now visualize this beautiful beam of light. It's flowing from your heart. It's connecting us to everyone here. Heart to heart and soul to soul. There's no force or effort to make this happen. It's just this beautiful connection. Just notice how this energy feels right now when we're all linked together. It expands. It strengthens. It becomes clearer. Together we are raising the vibration simply by just being here. Now invite the energy of the animals into your space. Maybe they're alive or in spirit, or even the collective animal consciousness itself. Just feel their purity and their honesty. their unconditional love for all. They don't doubt connection. They don't overthink energy. They simply feel it. Allow yourself to feel it as they feel. Maybe an animal is stepping forward to you. It could be your own, or maybe an animal guide is coming. Or maybe you just feel a sensation of someone with you. Just allow it to be here. Notice any images or sensations you might feel. Or maybe some emotions come up. Maybe some words or just a knowing you have. There is no right or wrong. And if nothing comes, that's okay too. We are all still connected. Now send love from your heart to the animals. And feel the love coming back. It moves in a circle, a continuous exchange. Love flowing through you, through them, through the earth, through the blue jays squawking outside, through all of us. We aren't separate beings trying to connect. We are one energy remembering itself. Take a slow breath in, and as you exhale, release any doubt within you. And take another breath in. And as you exhale, expand your love out into the world beyond this room. See it moving through your home, with all the animals, with nature, across the whole world. Every time we gather like this, we shift something. We're softening and we're healing something. And they feel it too. Now bring your awareness back into your body and feel your hands and your feet and your breath. Place one head on your heart and just thank yourself for showing up today. Thanking the animals and the earth that shared this energy with us today. And when you're ready, open your eyes and carry this beautiful connection with you. We are always connected. We are never separate. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. Always so peaceful and relaxing. It's like I don't want to come out of it. I got to say, I felt early on in the meditation, there's at one point, felt the energy coming in. I think you invited in. And as I let go, I felt it was the strangest feeling. I've never had it before. It felt like all this, we have this huge team of non physical spiritual support around us all the time. And usually we're not very connected or aware of it. But in that moment of allowing, I felt them all come up underneath me, sort of like a warm chair. I could feel warmth just kind of like literally lifting me up and sort of like holding me in place. It's quite interesting. I've never had that kind of experience before. Who else had an experience that maybe you want to share here? Any messages or awarenesses? Yeah, go ahead, Masako.
I was thinking about my animals who passed, and I felt so much unconditional love because sometimes I had to put them down, and I know I made the right decision, but I still feel guilty sometimes. But they still love me. Thank you, Marissa.
Oh, wonderful. So you got the message of that love from them, even from beyond. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, we all have that human side where that happened when we had to put our dog down some years ago. It was the worst day of my life. But she was sitting right with me today, right by my chair. Melissa said, invite them in, and I could feel her energy, and I know she's always with us. They don't hold on to their bodies like humans do. They just leave and come and go and come and go. So that's excellent, Masako. Sarah, go ahead.
Me, yeah, yeah. Felt really moved actually. I saw a white elk and heard white elk and mysteries of the universe. Felt really, really powerful. I can just feel that I'm doing step by step and just be going in the right direction, and I was a bit shocked by it, yeah. Felt very powerful. I've just been looking up the meaning, so I feel very honoured. Yeah.
What is
Thank
the
you
meaning
all.
to you, Sarah? Like what's the first thing that comes to your heart?
Um, with the white is pureness, power, strength, using your intuition. Just looks a very powerful animal, helper.
Nice.
Yeah,
All in reflection of your pureness and strength and confidence.
yeah, yeah.
Nice.
We're
Thank you
very
for
honoured.
sharing.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, all of you. Thanks.
Annalie, go ahead.
Thank you, Melissa. That was really, really beautiful meditation. I could really feel the connection and the love between all of us. And at first I saw this beam of light coming out from everybody from all directions, just connecting. And I then saw the light like, it was like a flower. And we were all, each of us was one petal. And it was really beautiful picture.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had that similar vision. Now that you're saying that, where the I was thinking of the Indiana Jones movie, right at the end where they open the Ark of the Covenant and all this lightning bolts come out and go through all the people. That was not a pleasant thing for them. But for us, I felt the same kind of like it was a loving energy, those same kind of beams, like what you
Right.
were saying,
Yes.
beams
It's
of
cool.
connection.
Yes.
Yeah, excellent. That's actually the image that's behind the Exploring Telepathy screen is is an image of the planet with beams of light hopping from location to location around the planet. And so that's a very similar that's a kind of a visual I've had since the Lightworker Exchange group that you and I and some of us have been on years ago. So a great reminder. Hazel, good to see you. Go ahead and share what happened.
Hello.
You are? We can hear you. Fine.
So I came in late because I was just doing stuff, but what came to me was my grandfather, and I've never ever connected with him. He's dead. I've never ever connected with him at all. And part of the reason, I think a big part of the reason was that he died when I was about 17. He was the only human that I ever felt any connection to and any understanding from. And when he was dying in hospital, I was so upset. I just did not want to deal with it. I never visited him when he was in hospital. And over the years, I've just felt this most unbelievable guilt about it all and just like the one person that I could relate to. And I had no expectation because, I thought, come get settled in, hear about the meditation. It was a total shock that he came and I saw him. And he presented almost like a St. Francis of Assisi kind of character because he was very shamanic and we would always go on very long walks in the countryside. He knew all the names of the animals and he used to have the most beautiful garden. And he was just standing there and I actually felt him come in stand next to me and this never ever happened before. And he was just standing there with all these animals around us and I felt that all that guilt that I'd been carrying around for many, many decades um, has gone,
Wow.
and I realized that there was no need to have any guilt at all. But I was so distraught at the fact that he was dying, I couldn't deal with it at all. And it's like this big weight's gone off, and I know that he will help me now with the the plant spirits and the animal spirits because that's who he was. So yeah, thank you, Melissa.
Wow. How powerful. So two of you guys here now on this call have had very similar releases of that old guilt. Wow, Hazel, you're just making such great strides in your evolution. Like I can feel the true, authentic, deep Hazel starting to emerge, like the flower Annalie was talking about. Yeah, awesome. Thank you for sharing. So amazing. So amazing. Who else we have? Is it Anna or Anna?
It's Anna.
Anna. Hey, Anna. Welcome.
Hello. Who's talking? Oh, I am. Sorry, my son is here too.
Hi.
So thank you. Yeah, I agree that meditation was really wonderful. This is my first time joining this call, so this is just a really great experience already. I just wanted to say that in the portion of it that you were talking about the animals, I did like visualize, like all my past animals. One in particular was kind of like the one they were all walking towards me. Just I felt this really loving presence of them surrounding me and just coming towards me. And one of them in particular was kind of the one walking in front. The other ones were sort of like in a haze or a blur. But the one in the front was my dog Marley, who in a previous season, he was really a protector for me. And unfortunately, we were separated for a while. And then I was able to see him right before he passed. So it was just a very challenging relationship, grieving a loved one twice. But he was always so protective. And I just felt like right now, I'm in a season where I'm kind of feeling that I need that protection again. And so it just was like a real warm presence of protection.
Oh, wonderful. So even in the spiritual realm, he's still around you and supporting you and protecting you.
Yeah, and almost felt like he was like gathering all the other ones to come join him in protection.
Oh, yeah. Wow. How does that feel?
Really good. Much needed.
Awesome. And you've got our whole community support of you as well. So don't forget that.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing, Anna, and welcome. Whew. Melissa, go ahead.
Well, that's part of my story too, is a full circle moment with Harley here. This is Harley who came in today in the middle of the meditation, and usually it would be Hendrix, but she's been the ringleader this whole time anyways, and so it's good to introduce her right here. But I had a nice full circle moment with her myself this week, and so um, doing all this healing work myself and really working on my nervous system and whatnot. And she is autistic herself and goes through a lot. And she's been my huge mirror for me. And this week on Monday, she was going through one of her phases, or I don't want to say a tantrum, but going through the house just and trying to let her self-soothe somewhat, because like I want to have her do that, but she came to me, she felt that shift, and she came to me and was like, Mom, it's time. I want you to pick me up. And we went and sat in the chair for like 10, 15 minutes, and we just rocked, and she was completely calm and told me like she felt the shift in me, where she knew, because she usually goes to my husband, because me and her are more the mirror compared to Hendrix. And so she felt that shift where she could come and knew it was going to be healing. And it's not like she don't come sit on my lap at any other time. This was a totally different thing that we've both been working on. And so it was just a beautiful moment to see when we really do that work, that everybody feels it. It isn't just us. Our animals feel our energy all the time. And so they respond that way by our energy. If they are acting out, kind of take a check at the door of your own self. And so it was, kind of, that's what it is. It all starts with us, with anything really. So it was just such a beautiful moment for me, and tears were coming down my face. And it was just, of really the work that we do, what really shifts and happens. And I also wanted to say to you too, Masako, that your pet loves you no matter what, and they plan their death, like they know how they're going to exit, and it's so much more traumatic to us than it is for them. And so just know that your pet doesn't blame you for anything, and that they love you dearly, and that they're with you, and they want you to heal from that, and call on them to do any healing work, because they're there with you, and they do not want you to feel guilt for anything that happened, because that is not what they're about at all. So I pray you get a release from that feeling too.
Well, thanks for sharing that message as well, Melissa. Melissa, for those of you who don't know Melissa, she is, among other things, an animal communicator, very connected with nature. She channels just about everything, but the animal connection is always so powerful here. Reverend Lynn, go right ahead.
Good morning.
Morning.
This is always such a treat because it's usually me doing the meditations in my peace and empath circles that I facilitate. And the beautiful energy of Melissa and everyone here. And it's so safe, and it's so loving, and it's so vital. It really is vital, which is why I've been showing up regularly since my first time. And what has occurred to me as I had tears with this beautiful awareness of our connection is also how plants, trees and plants. I have many, many plants in my offices and my home and whatnot. The plants are reminding us with their roots and how they always have that impulse to grow, even when there's the tiniest of cracks, that there is always, always opportunity. And so, and I'm getting a little shaky and energetic here, with conditions in the collective being what they are, it's vital to have our own practices. I have a new mala. I'm doing peace prayers, morning and through night and through the day. It's so important for us to remember we are these spiritual beings and there's nothing to fear, even though there's so much stuff that may activate it. We have the means and the opportunities to remember what and who we are and to bring ourselves back, connecting with each other, with nature, with the all that is in whatever way we do that. And that's why this group and all these types of groups are really necessary for well-being. I feel always the beautiful connection in my own practice, but then when we can be and feel and rise as we are here, it's just sublime, and I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Well said. Very well articulated. It's funny, even though I've come to know we are the creators of the reality we experience because we choose the frequency, the focus. But there is immense power in being around others doing the same work. You feel the energy. There's confirmation. There's validation. We share experiences and stories of how we are individually making our connections, like we're doing here. Yeah, there's just you stated it perfectly. I just wanted to put a big hug around that. So beautiful. Thank you. Whew. I think that's why I've been drawn to doing this kind of work with groups for so long. I hadn't even really thought about it. My wife Suzanne and I did started our first meetup group in I think 2014 around here because we didn't have that connection. And we've always had something to do like this kind of thing. And when we started this particular call, it was about a year ago, I think, in this group, the autism telepathy group, I had no idea it was going to go in this expansive direction. But I'm so glad that somehow we've attracted this beautiful core of energetic beings who are on this same journey of our own expansion. There's just something magical about not needing to orchestrate it, providing the container, but not orchestrating it so much. Like we have even these conversations now, there's no orchestration around it. There's just, we're going to do a beginning meditation and a later meditation for the telepathic practice. And the less that I try to control this or other things, it's like it just happens naturally. We're all individually guided collectively to the best conversations and the best energy exchange. There's just such magic in this. And I think, and I'll just go off on a tangent for a little second, that that's the best value that we have to the greater collective who are not quite as awakened yet. They're still, as you said, swirling around in the turmoil. We show with our energy, our loving, unconditional support, what's possible. And it helps other people see that, yeah, there's a better way. We don't have to be in fear. We don't have to be controlled. We don't have to follow someone else's guidance for us anymore. We have the perfect guidance. So kudos to all of you guys here on the call because you are on that leading edge, being that example. You may not see it now, but you will as time progresses in this world of turmoil, how valuable what you're doing for yourself is to others. Rachel, go right ahead.
I just had a wonderful experience yesterday that I wanted to share. I was at the San Diego Wild Animal Park and I was connecting with all the animals, and I would go by and talk to each of the animals, and it wasn't my imagination. They would really focus on me, actually turn around. I would try and call some over, but like there was this one animal and he was turned around at the fence, and I started talking to him and he totally turned around and started looking at me, and then I walked and I started talking to these birds, and they were showing me their wings. They weren't trying to fly, they just were spreading their wings, and I was telling them how beautiful they were. And it was really neat to have that connection with them. And then I made friends with a crow and the crow came up, and I that's been on my bucket list to make friends with a crow, but it was just such a special experience. And it wasn't my imagination, right, babe? Right, yeah. No, they really were connecting with me and responsive to me, and it just felt really beautiful. So I just wanted to share that.
I can feel it. And I can imagine how much they feel your energy, Rachel. You've always had that sort of loving glow in nature, and how lucky they are to have made friends with you. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, it was wonderful. And like the last lady was talking, I connect with the trees as well, and that is so much fun because we're surrounded by the Cleveland National Forest, and I talk to the trees and they start moving their branches and their leaves, and yeah, I just love it. Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you for sharing. Suzanne.
Okay, I was thinking back to the meditation, and I immediately invited Roxy in, and she was right here by me too. So she's in both rooms. I felt her presence. I just thanked her for helping us continue to keep finding that dog that we know wants to come into our life and help direct that so it happens so effortlessly. And then I saw a vision of my mother's face, which I haven't seen in a while. That was beautiful, and I thanked her for introducing me a long time ago. She was never talked about spirituality. But one time I was going through a really tough time in my life, and 40 years ago. And I lived in Oklahoma at the time, and she told me to go get a book by Edgar Casey. Now this and then I started reading about that, and it was opened my mind to, oh my gosh, there's so much more to life than the struggle that I'm in right now at that time. And I wanted to talk with her and go deep with her, but we never did. My dad didn't believe anything like that, so I think she just kind of shut herself down. And so I just thanked her for that first introduction, because I know if my dad hadn't been the role model of no, we live, we die, we're done, she and I would have connected. So I think she's having fun. I felt her having fun with me as my spirituality keeps growing and opening and helping others, helping myself. And that was very cool. And I also felt with like everyone here, I felt a connection between all of us. And anytime I journal, and I journal one so I can go into my own safe place where I know I'm just totally safe in my heart. And so all my life, even as a young person, when I would doodle, I just draw hearts. I mean, it's just something I draw so easy. And I found myself in my mind drawing hearts between all of us, like we were just all connected. We were just all one big, beautiful, energetic heart here in a safe place that we know you can't find very easily with a group of people. So that was just lovely. And I want to share all that.
Wonderful. Yeah, you have some beautiful heart doodles. Maybe one will be on your next book on the cover.
Yeah, maybe I'll just draw a heart on the front.
I'd certainly get right to the heart of it.
For For sure. A couple of years ago, well, actually, when I first started journaling, so that was 2021. After I journal, I just was drawn to get another piece of paper and I started drawing hearts again. And then in the heart, I would draw these little phrases that I'd get through the journaling. And for a year, I kept drawing big hearts and I called it messages from the heart. And they're stuffed away in a book now, but I mean, a heart, heart is just, I don't know, the heart's an important part of my life and all of ours. So when you can get in touch with that energy, it's just a beautiful thing. And we're all connected that way. This is what's nice about being here. Like actually, Kevin and I each had our own difficult night, sort of not sleeping well and so forth. And then when we were having a little breakfast together, I said, well, thank God we have the meeting. We can get back into our heart space where we know, all is well. And so thank you all for showing up.
Yeah, it's a reminder. You guys are all, we're not just here hosting this for you. We're hosting it for us as well.
Yes. And this is the first group that we've put together since 2014 where I feel so connected with all of you. Like there's an energy that I've never felt. All the different groups we've had is basically kind of been Kevin and I carrying on conversation, and an occasional person will join in. But this is what I love about this group. Like it's safe and you can just be your true authentic self here. And we just embrace you. So thank you.
Yes, thank you all for that. I just reminded of something I heard just a couple days ago. Might have been either Lee Harris channeling disease, might have been Bashar, said that the heart was the intersection of the human and the spiritual self. It's the place where that exchange occurs. And I thought, well, that felt really accurate to me. I've never seen it quite as that sort of junction point. So that's why it's so important getting into our heart space so that we can open up the connection, be the blended being of both worlds that we were.
It just reminded me of something I do when I'm getting triggered by something that you look on the outer world, or just even we were taking a walk and one of our neighbors that we really haven't resonated with for a long time came over. So, and I could feel like, oh, here we go. I didn't know what he was going to talk about. But at any rate, what I do when I feel that trigger is I bring that energy back into my heart. I go, all is well. I create my own reality. He is who he is. It's okay. He can be him. I'll just embrace it in my heart. And it just brings it back in. When I feel a trigger, I just bring it back home to the truth.
Yeah. And then right in the midst of that conversation out on our front lawn, as he's going on about every negative thing in his life, our other neighbor with her little dog walks right up.
We both said, thank God for the dog.
Like, thank God for the dog. So.
Yeah, it might be the kind of dog we'll get us. What kind of a dog is she?
Havanese.
Havanese. She's the sweetest little thing. And she loves Kevin. I mean, she always goes to Kevin first. And for one, I can't even bend down. I've got arthritis in my knees. So I go for it, Kevin. And then she gets all so happy. And then she'll come over to me and then she'll say, I know you can't bend down. She lifts her little head up so I can get her under her chin. When she left, just those few minutes, I was so thankful that stopped the conversation with the guy that we were, who likes to whine about everything. And here we were back to the present moment. Like, yeah, now is all we have. Let's create a loving experience.
Yes. Verena, go ahead.
Hi. Yeah, I wanted to say thank you to Melissa for the meditation. That was beautiful. Yesterday too. The one, it's like always such a heart connection that I really love and appreciate, and also the animal focus. And what I wanted to say earlier already was like I've been trying something with my dog, actually to telepathically communicate with my dog in a way that I send an image to her, because we have this routine where when we're about to go out, she gets so excited that she starts playing with her toy and gets distracted and lost in playing with her toy. And so I go down and get dressed and wait for her, and she's not coming. And but she's so happy playing with her toy because she's so excited to go out. And I started to stand by the door, and instead of calling her name, to just envision her walking down the stairs. And then she does that. And it's like, because I sent that image to her, because I think like we often think of telepathy as like receiving information, but like trying it the other way around, of like actually imaging something and sending that image over, like, is such a wonderful way to communicate in that direction as well. And I also wanted to say that I really like what Masako said about having to put down a dog. I really felt that as well, because I had to do that with a dog like many years ago. And it, like, for me personally, it felt so wrong. Like, I did it because it felt it was the thing that you're supposed to do. Your dog has cancer and is about to die, and so you're supposed to put him down. And so I did it because I thought that was the right thing to do. But I had this like deep feeling of it not being the right thing after, and so I had some regret connected to that. And with my dog after that, I actually let him die naturally at home, and I, like, against doctor's advice, who wanted to put him down and everything. And I was like, no, I'm actually not. We're gonna have this last week together. And while it was very painful to watch the dog die and to be there for all of it, it did feel like the right decision. And it did feel like something that I would do again, because I think animals, like, we are born to die in a way, like it's a built-in function that we have, this natural process of letting go and letting the spirit pass. And it's, and sometimes we, like, because we're so afraid of pain as humans in general, we rob ourselves of the experience of actually going into that pain and experience the fullness of it, and like, and connecting on that spirit level, and like allowing the last breath to take its time, and like to also allow ourselves the pain of the suffering, like watching the suffering, and not
letting it
just
go. We let it go then as well in that process, and that's a really interesting point. So it's interesting. We've had just something like this. You're stirring some really interesting. Like, I'm receiving stuff around that point. We've followed a lot of mediums who talk to people who've passed on in different times in the past. And one of the threads that comes out is people who are near death often felt kept in their bodies by the people around them who didn't want them to go. And so they often would leave their bodies when nobody was in the room for that reason. And then people feel guilty. Oh, I wasn't there for my person who died. So no, you were the one holding them in the body when they were already ready to go. So I think there's just thinking about how when we had to face this with our own dog, it was the last thing I wanted to do was lose our dog. Because we were, as Suzanne said, we were so connected. So I know that I was still hanging on to her energy, but I had to. So the only way we could do it was by putting her down. I never would have let go. So it's like, congratulations to you to be able to face that fear head on and be able to work through it to allow that to happen. So the dog doesn't care how they go. They're eager to be here. They're eager to go. They're eager to come back. They don't care how that happens. But for the human journey, that's a powerful reminder to us how important it is. I think, at least for me, to face into the fear and the pain that you have, so that it can wash through and be released. And what a beautiful way you did that in communion.
Yeah, it was a very beautiful experience. And there was, like, my friend's 2, 3 year old child was there as well, not for the actual dying part, but like in close proximity. And he helped me to move the dog outside after, and like, and he, like, his parents were okay with that, obviously. But like, I moved, like, I lift when I lifted the dog up and the liquids came out, and like, and the child was like, oh, so when you die this happens. And it was like such a beautiful moment too, to have that kind of integration as well, of like him seeing something and like learning something and connecting dots of something that you don't usually get to see. So that was a really beautiful experience. And if I may, I wanted to say one more thing to Hazel, because that resonated very much with me as well, because I had a great grandmother who also died in a home many years previously. And I felt so bad because I also couldn't see her in the hospital. Like, she was such a proud woman. And like, seeing her, she had a couple of strokes and she couldn't move her face anymore. And she had like, and it was too hard. Like, I couldn't, at the time, I was 14. I couldn't handle it. Like, I couldn't be there. I couldn't see her like that because I know she didn't want to be seen like that. And then I felt so guilty that I left her alone in death also, like, and to not spend these last moments with her that I could have spent with her. And it's very interesting to me because in my 30s then, where like I still held on to this regret and this guilt about not being there, not getting over myself to be there for her in that moment. And she came in a dream to actually, with my dog that I had put down, that I also felt this guilt. They both came to me together in a dream to say it's okay. And like and it was beautiful because like my great grandmother, she came and I could feel her skin. Like, it was 20 years later, so like I had forgotten what her skin felt like, but I could feel her skin again. And then like to see my dog come in like a star, like full of energy, just energy flowing in the room and coming in as well and saying like, oh, you opened that door, so let me say hi to you. And it was, yeah, like it's so beautiful how we can let go of things in this way and still keep that connection, like open up to that
Yeah,
connection now.
that is so powerful. That boy, if there's a core of having a great life, an idea, it is that it's letting go of the fears that we learned and moving into that present connected moment. Yeah, and how beautiful, Verena. Thank you for sharing all of that. What a great, you feel the ideas and that are coming together in the meeting. How many of us have same experiences or parallel experiences, and how much validation and understanding it happens when we just show up and have a wonderful conversation. Phew. Hazel, you wanted to say something more? Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, there you are.
Oh, um, so very quickly, two things happened in the last couple of days, and that shifted me fundamentally into, oh, I don't know, I'll have to explain it. So with my work, with the college, with the students, we don't necessarily have a regular timetable. You kind of go where you're asked to go on the day with whatever student. And so mine has been fairly regular up to now. But on Thursday, I knew that I could be put anywhere. And um, not to sound like a total dickhead, but there are times when you just think, oh God, I'm really tired. I'm not in the mood for anyone kicking off or whatever. And I just wanted a peaceful day. I just thought, God, I was starting to try and think, what student would I like to work? Who's not gonna have a fit? Who's not gonna have a meltdown? Who's not gonna attack me? I'm thinking, I want a nice, easy day. And then I was thinking, no, actually, that's I won't do that. I will ask the universe to give me the students that's going to help me with what I need to do, and I can help them. So whoever it is, I'm going to let it all up to the universe to put me in the right place. So when I got in, I was given Hattie for the day. And Hattie is the student that I had been working with for a while. And I've never actually worked with her one-on-one. I've always just been in the classroom when she's there. And I had been a bit concerned for a while because I haven't been able to reach in or feel any connection. So I'm like, okay, bloody hell, this is really good. At the same time, I was also apprehensive because Hattie doesn't want to be in college anymore. She's had enough. She's been there for 4 years and she's lashing out. She's hitting students, she's hitting staff. She doesn't want to do anything. And I thought, on the one hand, okay, this is, I can maybe connect with Hattie again. And on the other hand, I was thinking this is going to be a really stressful day. But I thought, no, I'll go with it. And the whole day was just so lovely. And then, I found out that Hattie and Anna have had a major falling out. They're not friends anymore. So anytime I was trying to tune into Hattie or Anna, I had them as a package. Like I would say, oh, Hattie and Anna, and I'm thinking, no, actually, maybe that's why I was being blocked. Seeing them both separately, they're not like a package deal. So it was the first thing I learned. And then because Hattie can't speak, she can make some noises, but she can't speak. And the SALT team gave her a communication tool where you can record a voice. So she, instead of lashing out, she can just press it And so one of the SALT teams had recorded "Go Away." So every time Hattie felt overwhelmed, rather than having to lash out, she could press this button. So the SALT team presented her with the button, and then we had a bit of fun. And I would call over staff members and said, "Hattie wants to say something to you." Hattie would press the button and we'd fall around laughing because it's just really funny. And then I started messing around, and then I programmed in "Luke, I am your father." So she kept pressing that. So it was just a really fun day. And then she did something I mean, I was pretty sure it never happened before, but I wasn't 100% sure until later. She then pressed the button because she she goes yes or no. That's it. The odd sound. And then I was sitting next to her, and all of a sudden I'm like, what the hell? She pressed it and she recorded herself going, "Go away." That's the first time I've ever heard her speak. So I thought, can she say some words? Maybe I just didn't. And then I was telling the SALT team later, and I just said, "Oh, we're having fun with it." And Hattie recorded herself, and she said, "Go away." And they looked at me like she'd never ever spoken before. And at the end of the day, I said, "Thank you, Hattie, for a lovely day." And she gave me this big hug. So the point of it all was, I'm starting and I was thinking that, and I feel this major shift that I want to try and I know it's ridiculous because academically I know this, theoretically I know this, to enter into the students' world, but I wasn't doing it. I really wasn't doing it. And suddenly I felt yesterday, on Thursday, I felt because I was entering into her world, I, I don't know, it's hard to describe it, but it was like a really shift within me. And and Hattie did a load of work, and she actually did a load of work as well. Now, maybe it was a fluke, and maybe next week she'll be a right arsehole to me, but on Thursday she was lovely. And then on Friday I was going in, and I was hit again the same thing because I was supposed to have a student called Charlotte. Charlotte is a delight. You've no worries with Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
But then on that morning, just before we go in, we get our timetable, and Charlotte wasn't in. And I got given a student called Aaron. Again, never worked with Aaron before. And Aaron has major communication difficulties, and he lashes out at staff, at students as well. And I'm like, oh, bloody hell. Okay, I'm going to do the whole, just let it open. Let's see what happens. And Aaron does speak. It's hard to understand him, but he gets into a loop. And he's obsessed with this English cartoon called Postman Pat. And all he wants to talk about, he doesn't really talk about it, but he just says, "Where's Postman Pat? Where's Postman Pat?" And he's also obsessed with the bin men. I don't know what the American equivalent, garbage men.
Garbage men, yeah.
Yes. And he's obsessed, and he just talks about it on a loop. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to be in for like a really draining day. And then no, stop all that shit. And so when I met him, I started thinking, right, I'm going to, every time he says stuff, I'm just, as an experiment, I'm going to reply back to him telepathically. I'm not going to speak. And so every time he told, "Where's the bin man? Where's Postman Pat? Where's the bin man?" And I was just like, so, I was still like telepathic going. Sometimes I'd verbalize, but mainly I was telepathic going, "I don't know." And I realized after a time, he wasn't asking. It's like he kind of, with the telepathicness, he was calming down. And then at one point, I was saying, "Oh, let's see if I can have more of a communication." So in my head, every time he asked it, I was saying they're on their lunch break. So I said that a few times, didn't verbalize it. I've never heard him say a lot. And then he asked again, "Where's the bin men?" And then he went, "They're on their lunch break." And I'm like, bloody hell, this thing works. And then I did a few other things, like I was saying, like later, and then he would say it. So, and another really nice thing happened because he has problems with mobility. So I have to kind of, when he's up and down a step, you have to hold his hand. And every time I put my hand out and he put his hand out to me, he said to me, "I'm not going to hit you." And I'm just like, whoa.
Not going to
So,
hit you?
yeah, because he does. He hits people a lot. But he was saying to me, every time he put his hand out, he said, "I'm not going to hit you." And I'm like, oh, what the hell is going on here? So basically, I still haven't processed it, but I think I'm seeing more now why I'm there in that role because I can do all the, take them to classes, help them with their stuff, but it's beyond that. it's kind of like totally connecting. And I don't really know how to describe it, but um, it's like connecting on a like a frequency level, I guess, what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say.
clearly you are.
Yes. And connected with, and I'm like, oh, I feel like this, like, sorry, I'm babbling because I'm still trying to process it all, but it just feels like, oh wow, maybe now with they're going to help me regulate my own energy
Yes.
because I have to be calm and I have to allow the stuff to come in and um and then connect. So they're helping me, and then I'm somehow by doing that allowing them to have this communication. I can't really describe it, but
No,
it's like
you
a
described
little
it.
bit.
That's the
Yeah,
perfect description in my opinion, because I felt since I started in this group that a big part of my journey was to help people connect with
yeah,
those exactly the nonverbal autistic kids that you're working with
yeah,
as well. And and it's but it as you said, you have to raise to their frequency because they're not coming down.
yeah,
And so that helps you and me and us doing the work. And this gives them then the voice out into our world. So
yeah,
it's a perfect balance, in my opinion, of co creation. You help them get back
yeah.
into their body and live in the physical world more easily. And they help us move up into the spiritual connection world.
And I think
It's perfect.
that's what I learned yesterday. I have to let go of control, let go, and just allow the energy to put me where I needed to be, stay calm and regulated, and just let it flow. And not get angst about it, not get like, So yeah,
Well, you just articulated, I think, another one of the themes of this whole conversation today. It's the importance of not being in our heads and trying to decide or push in a direction we think we should go in, but just surrendering all of that, coming back into the present and into this now moment to allow the guidance to come to us to do whatever the natural step is next. And you're demonstrating this perfectly, Hazel. I love
yeah.
every time you show up on our calls, you've got another piece of the puzzle clearly plugged in, and this is helping all of us. So I just wanted to thank you for that. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Isn't this fun, guys? Why I keep showing up. All right, wow, it's already 7 minutes past the hour. We're gonna have to, Scott, if you can, I don't know how quick you can be, but let's see if we can. You go ahead and share, and then we'll get into our telepathic meditation.
So a lot of what I'm getting ready to say is almost I was demonstrated during this particular meditation, sort of exactly what y'all are experiencing. So let me just share that real quick. So our heart is the center of our consciousness, and we have a toroidal energy field that comes out of our heart, and it extends at least about 10 feet out. And I was shown in this particular meditation how within that toroidal energy that we're putting out, a toroid goes out and comes back. And what it showed me was a picture, a hand cupped this way and going, we're putting out into the world our consciousness, everything. Then we dump it, and then we scoop and bring back in what's out there. So we're putting out and receiving all at the same time constantly. And the more your energy gets connected to what I call the ethereal net, the deeper you connect to source and to everybody else. And so therefore you are putting your emotions, feelings, thoughts into everybody else and pulling back in what you're surrounded with. So that was one concept they showed me. Then real quick, this is a real world situation of everything this is about right here.
Mhm.
This happened this week, and this is not to be braggy. This is actually demonstrating what we're doing here. About a week ago, I was offered a job interview back in my career. I was in that hypnagogic state of just waking up when I opened not my eyes, but apparently my third eye, and standing next to me was one of the beyond verbals there to impart a concept to me. And so he showed me that all of you right now remember how you felt coming out of Melissa's meditation. What he showed me was to prior to the interview, meditate and get that exact same feeling, go into that interview, my heart toroid will just sprinkle them with the joy and peace that I'm feeling from that meditation. And it will not matter what comes out of my mouth. All they know is they will feel so much joy and peace around me that they will want to hire me no matter what. So that was the first concept. Second concept, as I was driving to the interview, I meditated again, was relaxed enough. Same nonverbal said, now I'm going to give you the next layer of the onion. Not only when you get into that joy-filled state and fill the room with it, you are going to raise their energy up to where they feel good about themselves and about life and everything. And they won't even understand why. How many times, Kevin, have we said, raise the energy in the room? This was like yeah, you're right. I know this. So I did that. And let me just tell you how it went. When the top scientist guy stood up after interviewing me, he almost tripped over himself, smiling, going out of the door. Who will be my new boss turned and says, wow. He goes, I've never seen him smile like that before. You really impressed him. Then and all kind of other stuff happened. They were just like tripping over themselves, trying to get me on board. The HR lady walks me out of the door after the interview and stops me and says, I have no idea what you did in there, but you impressed everybody so much they can't wait to hire you. But they had to interview a couple other people. Anyway, I got the call yesterday. They called me because they haven't even had time to type up the offer letter, but they were too excited to tell me that they want me to come work for them. Wow. So I got the job, and but this was a real world. This is what getting heart centered can do. You can raise everybody's energy around you to a peaceful level.
Yeah. Well, you have if they want to come with you, but they certainly were eager to come with your energy level.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Right. Right. Free will choice. But,
and you probably showed them something they had never experienced before, that ability, because as you say, you on paper, it's like, you can talk about things on paper, but until you feel it, whole body feeling, then it doesn't have that, it doesn't land, as they say. Words
right.
don't teach. It's the life experience.
The fortunate thing I had was the first interview wasn't over Zoom, which is so impersonal. They literally wanted me in person. Thank God, thank Source, thank everybody for that, because again, real world situation of what we're doing right here.
Yeah. And you manifested that in-person conversation as well. All right. You didn't have resistance around that. That was something you wanted and didn't, right? You let go and just.
Well, there was one tense moment where there was an issue on my resume that the HR lady, when she was interviewing me, she got almost a little bit undone, but I stayed in it. I'm like, nope, stay in it. And before it was over with, it took about 5 minutes, and then she was back. And then she realized, oh, wait, yeah, we can work through this. And so anyway, no, it wasn't all smooth sailing.
But the thing I think you're demonstrating, more important than any of this here, Scott, is that we all have Abraham calls it the wobble in our vibration. There's things we're sure about, but then there's other things that, we have self-doubt and all that stuff, which is going to play out in those situations.
Right.
But what you did so well is, I believe, is that you noticed it. And you didn't let that outside reflection of your wobble get your attention. And this is a challenge for us. But when you tuned into it and they said, no. I know what the good feeling feels like. I'm not going to let the outside reflection affect. And you dominated the energy with her and in the room, and you manifested what you wanted.
Yeah.
Doesn't get better than that.
Yeah. I was obligated to share that. So.
Yeah. Well, that's a great, cherry on top of the conversation that we've had here today so much. I just want everybody to really take note how important it is to realize that it's your vibration that's creating the reflection back in life. And you'll never be done. You're going to be falling down regularly, but it's the more we can practice catching when the mind gets active and starts to pull us away, and then bringing it back, and then bringing it back, and then bringing it back, then it becomes habit to be in that vibration. more and more and more often. And then law of attraction, which is bringing this stuff to us, then is our friend. Makes things a little easier, a little lighter. Everything starts to work out for us. Yeah, that's what it's all about right there. I love that. That was a great story. Glad you shared, Scott. Well, let's get some meditation in. We'll probably go a little bit past the bottom of the hour based on the way these conversations are going, but let's see if we can get the core of it in here right now. All right. So, what we're going to do is just do a second meditation. It'll be shorter. I'll just talk you into the state for a couple minutes, and then I'll be quiet probably for about 5 minutes or so. And then uh, your job is not to do anything or try to make anything happen. It's just to be, as we've been doing all day today, getting back into the now moment, back into the heart, relaxing into presence. And whatever comes to you will be perfect. If you have a communication, that'll be perfect. If you don't, that'll be perfect. If you just feel comfortable and supported, that'll be perfect. The less we try to make anything happen, the more chance there will be what we need to flow in, just like what Scott was saying. All right, so we'll just settle in, make our adjustments, and close our eyes. Let me take a nice deep breath in and hold it, and then exhale, breathing the air completely out of our lungs. In again. And as we breathe out, we step out of the future or the past and just drop into the present moment, letting all of our thoughts just float away like little balloons. And then one more time. And on each out breath, we just soften and relax and soften. And we just settle in, surrendering to that beautiful ebb and flow of universal consciousness all around us, supporting us, loving us, carrying downstream towards the desires and dreams and connections and beings that are all part of our experience here in life. And keep deep breathing, nice and slow, feeling the consciousness raise above the clouds and into the bright sunlight of Source, being able to move into the frequency of connection of all those other beautiful beings that we want to connect with. Perfectly safe, perfectly loving, always supported, eternally, infinitely. And my voice is going to trail off for a few minutes. Just enjoy the ride. Okay. It's time to bring our focus back into the body, back into the third dimensional physical consciousness, back into presence. No rush. Whenever you're ready, you can land into presence and open your eyes. And if you had anything come to you and you want to capture it, now's a good time to write it down if it was something important to you. Because sometimes these connections will disappear, our experiences, because the mind doesn't record them in the same way when we're in a channeling state as it does when we're in a physical state. And you're welcome to share them in the chat if you want. And I see we already have a hand up. So, Verena, why don't you go ahead and lead us off?
Thank you for the meditation. That was very beautiful. I always feel inspired to ask for a message for the group. And today's message was, I don't know if I can actually say it, giggledy giggledy boo. And to remember that as a playful, like the best way to open the heart is in a playful way, and to like really be silly and joyful, because like I think we have to do the things anyway, all the things, like whatever it is, and the more lightness we can bring to it, the easier it becomes and the more it flows. So giggledy giggledy boo.
It's so good. That's I've heard that kind of message so often in channeling sessions I've had, and they always say, lighten up. You're here to have fun and to enjoy the journey in the now. Nothing serious is going on. I love that so much. Thanks for sharing, Verena, and thank you for receiving a message on behalf of the group. That's really compassionate and caring of you. Melissa, go ahead.
Well, I had a couple. Before you even ended, I had Freddie and Louie both coming in, and they were telling similar to that. That's the message I was getting to, was listen to our bodies and release the self-doubt, and to dance to our own tune of life. And it's all about us figuring out how to have fun. And like, I could see them, they were showing me dancing, both of the boys, and like just like twirling and going out and doing, like, not necessarily have to go out to a dance place, but like in your own, find whatever that is that's calling you, even if it's dancing out by a tree or painting or just sitting and being or whatever it is, but find like what lights you up. And then by doing that, it's going to raise our vibration to meet like kind of theirs. They were like, well, look at me. Like, we don't just sit, I've been writing the whole time, which he's like, we don't just think that way. We just know, like the animals. He's like, be like that and raise your frequency. Like, don't think so much about it, and just kind of, the kids are telling me they don't just sit there and think about, oh, this is a bad day, or oh, this is happening. They just kind of and are there in that space, in that presence of it. And then Owen also came in too and was telling me that when we refresh ourselves in the water, he says we ground and we raise our vibrations to meet everyone else's. So it was pretty cool, all of them talking, but just having that vision of, kind of like Verena said, to dance and to move at our own pace. And here's Hendrix coming in to say hi. So he wanted to say hello to everybody, but that was what I got. So thank you for that.
Awesome. Thank you, Melissa. And hi, Hendrix. Our mascot for these calls, Hendrix the cat. And sometimes Harley too.
Wait,
Wow.
I'm sorry. I wanted to say one more thing. I sent
Sure.
let me see, I'm looking, Masako and Verena and Annalie, I sent you guys a little a little telepathy. It was a, I don't know if you felt anything for me. I was beaming a little heart. So it was like a paw, a heart with a paw in it to you. And I was just mentally saying, like, hello, here's a heart and a paw to you guys. So I didn't know if you felt anything, but I just wanted to put that out there that I was doing that to you guys.
Oh, very sweet. I love this. Thank you, Melissa. And maybe that's enough for today. This is there was so much energy on this call. It's like I'm gonna have to just have to go get some lunch and let it settle in and land. Verena, one last comment before we wrap up.
I do a free live on self-healing tomorrow. If anybody wants to come, I
How
just
do,
want
how do they get there?
they can message me. It's called The Inner Temple. Discover Your Self-Healing Powers. You can also look for it. It's a Facebook group. Or just find me, my name, and message me, and I send the link.
Have you published it in the Autism Telepathy group?
Last month, not this month. I could do that again.
That might be the easiest for people to be able to
Yeah.
find it. And just for anybody, if you have free events, free offerings, you can always post them in the Autism Telepathy group. If they're paid or other kinds of solicitations, then they got to go in the Share Your Services post that we put out every month. And the next one's going out tomorrow. I'll be posting that. So thanks, Verena. And thanks, everybody. What a great conversation. The energy is just so incredible. I appreciate all you guys so much. Your journeys are incredible. If you think about even the small steps you guys are making, and this is leading edge of the leading edge. We're stepping into who we really are. We're going to help so many people as a result. So let's wrap up for today, and I guess we'll we'll end with the most important message of the day, which is giggledy boo. See you all next time. Bye for now.